LUTs! What the heck is a LUT? Is that like more than a little? The word LUT actually stands for lookup table, and it's just a series of information that can be easily loaded into your video editor to change the look of your footage. Well, guess what? Filmora 9 now allows you to bring in custom LUTs that you can use on your own footage, and I've made 3 of them that I'm gonna give away to you at the end of this video, so stick around. The Naturalizer. This will make your footage look a little smoother, silkier, and cinematic when you apply it directly onto your project. Vintage black and white. This captures that real old school feel of vintage black and white footage from back in the 40s. And finally, GNight. This LUT will make it feel like nighttime even if you're filmed during the daytime. Shh, people are sleeping. So let's get to it and show you how to install and use custom LUTs just like these in Filmora 9 right now. Are you ready? Let's go. So let me show you exactly how to do this. If you open up Filmora 9 and bring a piece of footage down into your timeline, this is a piece of footage that I got from pixabay.com of some couples in the park. If you double left click on that footage down in your timeline, in the upper left, it'll open up some options for that piece of footage. Now it defaults to the video tab, but if you click over to the color tab and scroll down, you'll see a feature for 3D LUT. Now it should be activated with a check in the box next to it. Make sure it is so that it's actually working and applied to your footage. But then you'll see a drop down over here. Currently no 3D LUTs are applied to this. If you hit the drop down, you'll see that there are some that come stock with Filmora, but at the very top, the second option down is load new LUT. If you click on that, and open up the file where you've saved the LUT that you want to use. I'll be giving you some and you can use these. The first one that I'll be giving you is the Naturalizer. If you click on that and hit open, it will automatically apply it to your footage. Could you see how it's changed? You can see this was a very crisp digital footage of this people in the park. If I put the LUT in, it sort of gives it a softer, more cinematic look. Another thing I did in the opening segment is, if you saw, I gave it the 21:9 cinematic bars. The way you can do that is if you click on your effects tab and then scroll down to where it says frame, the very first option is that cinema 21:9 frame. Drag that down, put it on top of your footage in your timeline, and you'll see it adds those 21:9 bars and gives your footage that real cinematic feel. Now you can turn off the LUT that's affecting your particular piece of footage either by clicking on the check marks in the 3D LUT tab, or if you scroll up from the drop-down, you can go back to the None option, and it'll take any LUT that you've applied off of that piece of footage and brought it back to stock. Now let's try another LUT that I'm giving you. This one is called the Vintage Black and White. If we apply that one, you can see our footage immediately turns into a very slick 1940s old school feeling footage. But there's other things you can do to really make this effect kick into overdrive, and let me show you those. In your effects tab, if you scroll down to old film, you'll see there's options to add dirt and dust to your footage, like the old film that had been sitting around and gotten scratched from being run through the projectors. Let's bring this extremely dirty film down, and I'll put it in a track just above our footage. You can stretch this out to cover as much of the footage as you want, but you can see once that's added, it gives you all that dust and grain and really starts making that footage feel old. Now, if you click on that effect in your timeline, it'll open up the ability to control how much of that effect you want to dial in. It defaults to 100%, but you can pull that back so that it's not quite as heavy an effect and just gives you a subtle bit of dust and grain and scratches onto your footage. Cool, huh? Now, the last one I want to show you is another really cool LUT that I created, and that is the GNight LUT. And if you click on Load New LUT, find where you've stored it on your computer and add it in, it's going to give your footage that sort of overcast blue night look, even if you film something in the day. Clearly, this footage was filmed in bright daylight, but by adding this, it sort of gives it that nighttime effect, and it looks like these people are hanging out in the park after sundown. Now listen, I want to show you where you can get these particular effects. If you're already a website member to my website, danielbatal.com, you have already been sent this out in an email, but I'm going to drop a link down below that if you drop your email in, it'll give you immediate access to get these particular LUTs yourself. Download them, they're free, use them any way you want, and you'll be subscribed to my website, so when I have more free stuff, you'll be immediately notified the minute it goes live. I hope this was really useful, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.